Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and how about this? A little bit of a throwback. Let's talk some PC hardware. I haven't done hardware-related videos in a long time. If you guys are a long-time subscriber to this channel, you may have remembered the days where I would do PC build videos and talk about the hardware market quite a lot. To be perfectly transparent with you guys, that sector of PC gaming just doesn't interest me as much anymore. Obviously, I still follow it. Obviously, I still look into it, but as far as meticulously picking out budget GPUs and doing all that, it's something that certainly I've been thinking about wanting to get back into, and I want to start doing content like that again. It's just these days, I'm more so about the games. I want to talk about games and the games I'm excited for. Game deals offer me a chance to talk about video games. Hardware is cool. Performance chasing is cool. It's just something that doesn't captivate me as much anymore, especially these days. It's not like back when I started YouTube where I was pretty broke, and the idea of buying a $1,500 gaming PC was just something not in my reach. And now, thankfully, you know, in my later 20s, I have I'm in the position where I can do that. So, especially when you're talking about the budget side of things, it's not something that I look at as much anymore. I'm still compelled by it, and I want to do it for the sake of, you know, bringing you guys some interesting content, but, you know, that's something I've been thinking about for a while. However, this story has come out, and it is incredibly interesting to me, and not necessarily a very good thing. Now, this is coming from Tom's Hardware. AMD is deprioritizing flagship gaming GPUs, and more so is going to be focused in on scale. Now, let's go over some of the things. As far as Tom's Hardware's Paul Alcorn noted, there's been a lot of anxiety in the PC enthusiast community that with this massive amount of focus on the data center that AMD has created and your success, there will be less of a focus on gaming. There have been repeated rumors from multiple different sources that AMD may not be as committed to the high end of the enthusiast GPU market, that it may come down to more to the mid-range and maybe not even have flagship to take on Nvidia's top of stack model. Are you guys committed to competing at the top of the stack with Nvidia? Response, I'm looking at scale, and AMD is in a different place right now. We have this debate quite a bit at AMD, right? So the question I ask is the PlayStation 5. Do you think that's hurting us? It's $499. So I ask, is it fun to go king of the hill? Again, I'm looking for scale because when we get scale, then I bring developers with us. So my number one priority right now is to build scale, to get us to 40 to 50% of the market faster. Do I want to go after the 10% of the TAM, total addressable market, or 80%? I'm an 80% kind of guy because I don't want AMD to be a company that only people who can afford Porsches and Ferraris, all right, that might be a little bit of a stretch, can buy. We want to build gaming systems for millions of users. Yes, we will have great products, but we tried that strategy, being the king of the hill strategy, where you have the top of the line graphics card and you're performing just for, or you're building a GPU for catching performance and getting the top of the line performance. It hasn't really grown. ATI has really tried this king of the hill strategy, and the market share has kind of been the market share. I want to build the best products at the right system price point. So think about price point wise, we'll have leadership. Okay, so when that is being said, that totally speaks to me, especially when I'm talking about the type of content that I used to create when we really looked at budget-oriented builds. This channel, back in the day, it was never, at least it wasn't prioritizing the top-of-the-line GPUs. I always said that if you're buying stuff, like, by today's standard, like an RTX 4080, if you're buying stuff like $500 GPUs, or even higher than that, $400 GPUs, at that point, you're very probably financially comfortable. Obviously, you still want to pick and choose what kind of hardware you're buying. You want to make the best decision possible from a business standpoint. However, that is so much more imperative when you are talking about people that are a little bit more budget constrained, and they're talking about buying a $200 GPU, a $300 GPU. It's a different ball game that you're playing, where you do have to be a little bit more selective, and I do feel like AMD has spoken to that audience very well. However, when you talk about the top of the line GPUs, when you talk about $400, $500, $600, $700 GPUs, Nvidia has always been the market leader as far as that's concerned. They're the market leader in GPUs in general, but in that sector of gaming, it just seems like Nvidia has always had leadership. However, I will also say, It is not good. It is not a good thing whenever in any area of the market there is one dominant leader with no competition, because Nvidia, their GPU prices, especially at the top of the line, they're already arguably a little bit crazy, especially when the GPUs drop and everything like that. When you're talking about in a market where there's less and less competition, then it gets even worse. They have free reign, at least mostly free reign, to do whatever they want. In the past, if you do have a market competitor and you want a healthy competitor, the consumer wants a healthy competitor. Nvidia don't give a damn. The consumer wants a healthy competitor. There's a competitor that would check you, in this case Nvidia, if Nvidia gets way too crazy. When you get into a territory where they can do whatever they want and you have to leave it to the consumer to check the company, in this case, let's say Nvidia prices their GPUs egregiously, at least from my perspective, that's going to be something that's subjective. What is egregious pricing? Nobody can really definitively say, but let's just say from my perspective, Nvidia has egregious price points. Well, I have to be the one that decides, okay, I'm not buying it. However, if I'm desperate enough that I want a top-of-the-line GPU, ultimately, you're gonna pay whatever Nvidia's charging because there isn't a direct market competitor and there isn't a market competitor that'll check them. That is the area where I am worried about. This goes for console gaming as well, where PlayStation has no competition or very little competition in the case of Xbox, and they can get away with a lot of things. That's the issue when you're talking about having a market leader and having somebody so dominant, especially if you're talking about high-end GPUs. However, in the case of high-end GPUs, I'm a little less worried about that just because, okay, there's a threshold that if Nvidia gets to this price range, people are going to be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, again, the consumer is going to be the one to check them. But if we're just looking at it from a high-end GPU standpoint, like, those people that are buying those graphics cards, either they invest a lot into gaming and the price point's okay to them, or they just have FU money and dropping that kind of money on a GPU isn't that big of a deal. At some point, obviously, there's going to be pushback, but in the case if Nvidia doesn't have competition, they're going to try to draw more and more money out of that level of consumer, where they do that 10%, as AMD is viewing it, that does want top-of-the-line hardware and does want the latest and greatest. That audience is also going to be the audience that is the most willing to pay a premium, because if you're buying a $600 GPU, if it goes, let's say it goes up to $800, like, a large portion of that audience is still going to buy that GPU. That's just the reality, at least that's how I perceive it, but it's not good whenever any sector of the market has one absolute dominant leader. But AMD has always thrived, as long as I've been covering it, and back in the day especially, at that more budget-oriented, and budget-oriented, that term has been stretched quite a lot at this point as far as what budget-oriented covers as far as a price range. But still an interesting topic to have, and definitely interested to hear what you guys think. I think AMD prioritizing in that budget-minded gamer is a good thing, in the sense that, hey, if AMD can really pop off in that area, that would give the people that are trying to build the quote-unquote lower-end PCs a more worthwhile PC. And at this point, those lower-end PCs still can give you a really great performance, and I think that's been something that's true for a while now, especially if you're not trying to chase after ray tracing, if you're not trying to chase after 4K 60 FPS, and I don't believe the vast majority of people are. There's just a lot of people gaming at 1080p. There's people gaming on portable PCs, like, Steam Deck, ROG Ally, so on and so forth. That 1440p and especially 4K, I do think that's a smaller and smaller audience, even by today's standards. And you would think more and more people would have jumped onto 4K monitors and things like that. I don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot of people, surprisingly so, that are still playing at 1080p. And you know what? If 1080p looks great to you, and in a lot of cases it does, more power to you. It's a lot easier to run than 4K. And that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Not gonna do hardware-related stuff all the time, but honestly, if the reception is decent, and if it's something you guys want me to talk about, I really gotta catch up with everything going on. It's just something that I don't have my finger on the pulse of everything going on GPU, CPU related, and just gaming PC related from a hardware standpoint as I did in the past. It's just these days I'm all about the games, and you know, I always have a PC that can run games at least competently well, that I don't really worry about that stuff as much anymore. But, you know, let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.